She's got medium length blonde hair that looks poorly cut and got like fairly strong calloused hands, and she kind of like puts them down on the table and looks at the four of you and says, hello, adventurers. I am looking for people that look, well, just like you. Strong fighters that are capable of getting me where I need to go.
Is she a solid 5, Neil, or
Neil.
how are we dealing with this?
JP, is that you?
No, I'm just trolling the chat. This is fun.
This is JP.
She's like a 6.5, I guess.
Okay, so
we haven't seen many of
She's
those
got like
recently
12
with us.
charisma. Yeah.
All right, so she's pretty average looking, but at least, you know.
She's better than what we've been looking at recently.
Hello, friend. May I ask who you be, and what is this you speak of, then?
My name is Lisa Bergath. And I'm looking for people who would be willing to accompany me on a mildly dangerous journey and retrieve some stolen family heirlooms.
And with that, Vincent kind of cringes a little bit when she says retrieve family heirlooms. Which direction be you heading, friend?
South by southeast. We're headed to Rainwood.
I kind of look at Bregor and give him a look that's like, it's a pretty classic shrug, what do you think type look that I think's been echoed through time and space.
Mm-hmm. I give a shrug back that says, like, depends on what kind of heirlooms. And this is like a pretty complicated shrug, but Vincent understands.
I actually got that one pretty good.
I start blinking at Bregor.
I also blink what depends on the
Abigail breaks into an epileptic seizure, and then Lisa, we are adventurers, and we're always looking for work. But we have had a rough spell of time. You say it's not that dangerous, but I think the more intriguing part for us is what would the payoff be for this kind of a thing?
Well, I could pay you in money. That's usually what I expect to do. This guy, well, may I sit?
Yeah, absolutely. Pull up a seat, please.
She sits down and says, so, a while back, like almost a year ago now, my father was killed by these guys, this marauding band that had been traveling through the area.
Your father's name?
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah, well, I just, I called him Dad, but
Yes,
Mr. Bergath, Josh, whatever.
Josh Bergath, yes.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, it's a name. My mother kind of fell into grief, and I tried to care for her, but she didn't make it very much longer. And now I've set out to find these bandits and, have my vengeance on them. Kill them for killing my father, and basically, I blame them for my mother's death as well. My father's heirlooms are mostly, I've been looking for a lot, and I've found some. This is the last of it. These are letters that my father had written to my mother once upon a time in a small box. I have some other items that I have retrieved, gems that I could use to pay you for your services if you'd like.
Your story is compelling, and we are sorry for your loss. And I do think that looking around, I kind of survey. I'm guessing I'm not seeing Abigail or Bregor be like, no, don't want. I think we could take you up on this mission, friend. And as much as I'd like to tell you we could do it pro bono, we cannot. We must accept payment. So if you can tell us what the price is, I'm sure we could come to an agreement there.
If you don't know how much your gems are worth, you can let me look at them. I can evaluate them for you.
Thank you, but I already know their value.
Then you can tell us.
I guess now is an appropriate time to discuss payment after all. Rainwood is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is 2 or 3 weeks from here, 2.5 weeks from here. So I could offer you the equivalent of 500 gold to get there. It's not a long journey, and it's mostly over well-traveled roads, so I doubt there will be much trouble along the way.
I'll need to... So you're offering us 500 to track down these villains and slay them.
Oh, I know where they are. I've already done the tracking. I've gotten the information of where they're hiding out. I just need a little extra muscle to make sure that I can get there intact. I'm a capable fighter on my own, but you never know. Roads can be dangerous these days.
All right. If you
I hear Willowbrook was completely destroyed last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it
So,
was. If you'll give me and my friends one moment to discuss it, please.
of course, I'll be over at the bar if you need anything.
Okay.
She gets up and leaves you.
Here's the way I look at it, friends. That's not a big prize purse, but we all just kind of wanted to get away from this area anyways. Her story is compelling. If her father was truly slain by some villains, this could be some good that we could do. And we can sell our stuff along the way, and basically it's like 17 birds with one stone.
I completely agree. As long as she's okay with us taking a little bit longer to get there, giving us a few days to sell all of our wares and heal back up to full, etc. I'm totally okay with it.
Abigail, you're good with this?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just that I think of the other matters that we were thinking about, and I don't know if we want to keep pushing it back forever.
I hear you. I feel like, obviously, the tragedy is that I wish we could save Oris now, but we'll need more preparation, more time.
Yeah.
And then the giant thing, I mean, that's the opposite direction. It's another trip.
I agree.
And I feel like we might have solved that anyways.
Yeah, I was talking about the more pressing thing, the pressing matters, because I'm thinking about that one time where we encountered a dragon and we lost some precious things. And if we happened to lose more precious things again before we got to use them or find out what they did, it would be disappointing.
So what is the pressing thing that you want us to...
Find out what the ring does? Is that what you mean?
Find out what my ring does and figure out what we want to do with the other.
Yeah, we'll need to get to a big city with a powerful wizard first, though, so... I hear you, and we'll definitely do those things, but I think we should take this lady up on her request first.
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to saunter over to the counter and Han Solo lean the shit out of her, basically, and say, we'll take you up on your mission, lady, but I've got one thing to tell you. We're going to need to stop in a few towns to rest and heal, and we have some gear that we're selling off. So as long as you're okay with slight delays, we should be fine.
Well, you know the saying, vengeance is a dish best served cold. I don't mind delaying it a little bit longer.
I had not heard that saying, but
I've heard
appreciate
revenge,
you sharing it.
but that must be different in this land.
Yes. Okay, well, we're going to rest here for the day, and tomorrow we shall leave, so you're more than welcome in our wagon.
Excellent. I already have hired another strong arm to help us. He's not here. He's out in another bar. If you guys would like to meet with him, he'll be coming along.
No, and you changed the deal. Deal's off. We're out of here, guys. Let's go as fast as we can.
She smiles and says,
No, Neil. I'm just kidding, obviously.
JP, is that you?
I have a feeling there's some DMing going on here, so I thought it'd
Is
be
this
funny.
Grandma Clarice?
Anyways, she says that, and I kind of give her a look where it's like Vincent recognizes that he's supposed to, at this point, put his foot down because people keep changing the deal on him, but he's like, we would like to meet him as soon as possible.
I figured as much.
And I mean, you said strong arm. I suppose, to be fair, it could have been a her, but the only ones with strong arms that we ever heard about were the ladies of the night over by the dock a couple towns back.
Strong arm was more of a figurative statement here. He's a dwarven cleric.
A dwarf?
Yeah.
How dwarf are we
She
talking?
kind of rolls her eyes a little bit and says, he said he had a debt to pay, so he needed to do some good. So he volunteered for the mission free of charge. So when I heard that, I said, why not? Come along.
Okay. We'd still like to meet him as soon as possible.
Yeah. I'll take you over there if you'd like to meet him right now.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. His name is Azrael, some dwarven thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Probably shit for brains.
Probably. She kind of glances over at the elves at the table and just kind of mutters, "You got that right, freaking subhumans." So I'll take you over to meet him right now.
All right. And then I look at Abigail, and I look at Bregor, and I shoot Bregor a look that says, collect Abigail, we're going to meet somebody. Which is like...
I collect Abigail.
Okay, what do you do with Sela?
I add her to my collection. Sela,
Gotta catch him.
so I ask Sela how she feels right now about, is she okay with parting ways, and if she'll be all right, etc.
Well,
Kind of a courtesy offer more than anything, but
we can part ways, but I'm headed south anyway. It sounds like you're heading the right direction.
so you're saying you'd like to stay with us a little longer?
If it's not a problem.
It's not.
That's fine.
All right. So the collection of elves goes with Vincent and Lisa, who is human, by the way. And you guys all head over to the Red Flagon, where you see a dwarf sitting on, well, at a table. You can't see anything else. You see a dwarf sitting at a table.
Well, hello there, little man.
JP, would you like to describe yourself to the party?
Well, if I'm in a bar, I would assume my armor's off, yeah?
Probably.
All right, so you basically see a long crew cut dwarf with a huge tri-beard going down into one beard all the way to his waist. It's gold and silver, the hair is, and so is the beard. And how tall did you make my character, Neil? Because I told you to make him as short as possible.
Oh, you said short as possible?
Yeah.
I thought you just said appropriate height. And
I said
See,
appropriate
Neil
weight
always
for
does
being
this,
strength.
man. He tricked me on the weight too.
No, this is why, because I didn't know how tall dwarfs could be.
okay, well, dwarves are usually between 4 and 4.5 feet tall.
So let's say I'm like 3'11".
Okay.
We're almost 4 feet. So 3'11", not really overweight or anything, just
No.
I guess pretty muscular.
A muscular 130
dwarf.
pounds.
There you go, muscular, 130 pounds. And I look to be pretty old, from what you can tell. I look to be somewhat aged. And
How
I guess
old-
I have my back turned to you. So
How old do dwarves live to usually?
350-ish.
Okay.
Hello there, somewhat old little man.
so I just hear a voice, and I guess I turn around. I see that it's an elf, and I just kind of like, yes.
Lisa approaches and says, Azrael, these are the others I found to make this happen.
Ah, yes, the other ones. Okay. You didn't mention anything about elves, but I do need.
I went out not knowing what I was going to get.
It's okay.
This is what it turned up.
It's okay. This one here looks to be human and looks to be a fine, strapping warrior. So we're good to go. But the elves, next time just shy away from them. The whole dwarf elven thing, not the kindest.
She nods and goes, right. Well, I don't particularly care, elf or dwarf, so as long as you guys don't kill each other on the way, whatever.
Is that like a thing? Like elves and dwarves in this land don't like each other? Or?
There's a little bit of racial tension going on after the last, I think it was the last Ogre War. The elves took pretty freaking heavy casualties and blamed the dwarves for not, coming to help them soon enough. And the dwarves kind of blamed the elves for only caring about their own area, not really looking to protect everyone. So there's some racial tension going on between them after the last Ogre Wars. The elves definitely came out way below. They were almost eradicated entirely.
So we're the minority.
Yeah, elves are a huge minority in the world right now. Your population is low.
It's closer to night, right, Neil?
Yeah, it's dusk.
All
Let's
right.
call it.
Well, we're leaving tomorrow, but before, unfortunately, we've had some very recent bad experiences with people close to us betraying us. I'd like to have a couple rounds with you, friend, and hear your story.
Let's just skip all that, and we can make this very quick. You can learn all you want to know about me, but these two elves, I don't want them knowing anything. But you can hear my entire life story in a matter of seconds.
We are a party, sir. If
You
we're
do
going
know that
together,
they'll travel with us. You'll have to warm up to them in some way.
That's fine. That's fine. You can tell them all about me, but how about we just kind of skip this? We'll definitely get drunk because I'm down to have a couple of glasses, but let's just skip all that and we'll just drink for fun, not for storytelling.
I blink to Abigail and I say, "Get a load of this guy," with the blinks.
I'm much obliged by your invite, friend, but I have to tell you this is purely business, and in order for me to do this business, I need to know who I'm dealing with. So I'd like to know more about you, and I need you to try and be receptive to my friends, almost as if I want this to move along, story-wise, but in a reasonable way. Like,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
yes, thank you.
I
Gather
say,
round,
there's
friends.
room on the table. Feel free to sit.
Yes, I
You
imagine
next to me. I don't want the elves anywhere near me.
Okay, that's fine.
Across the table, please.
I sit down and I wink at him.
How tall is Vincent's character, by the way? Neil?
I'm like, I think I'm like 5'10" or 11 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm looking up.
Tall
Vincent
for the
Longborn,
time.
5'11".
There we go.
Okay, because I would assume in what I'm sitting in, I have to look up at every single person, and I'm a lot smaller. My legs aren't even touching the ground, right?
Well, hold on. You PM'd me saying you wanted to arrive in a certain manner. I was just going to say you were using that as your stool, so you could be higher up
okay,
off the
perfect.
ground.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I say sit down here next to me, pointing at Vincent, and then the two elves on the other side.
Yeah. So you guys notice that as you sit down, he's seated a little bit higher than you, and you notice that he's basically sitting on a log that has grown legs that are kind of like stepping back and forth a little bit. Like he's sitting on an animated stool that kind of looks like a mini horse made out of
What
log.
the shit are you sitting on?
Yeah.
Oh, this is just my old friend. Don't worry about him. He won't bother you.
You have a friend log.
Yeah. Piney.
Rolls down
name is Piney?
Yeah,
Hello there, Piney.
Piney.
Don't talk
I
to
have-
Piney.
I feel like you
Oh,
would
I'll
have...
talk to Piney if I want to, friend.
Do you find it hard to get along with him?
No, not at all. He takes me wherever I need. He's my tree steed.
I imagine he would. All right.
As long as he doesn't bark out any commands at us, I'll be okay with him.
Oh, he's not the
Yeah.
talking type. You don't have to worry about that.
So tell us about you, Shorty.
I kind of glare at him and be like, "Well, you're the one asking the questions. What do you want to know?"
Well, why are you here? What's up?
I'm helping Lisa out.
Why?
I owe a debt to my god.
Who is
What
your god
happened?
friend?
Well, I'm sure you've heard of Quantarius, the god of balance. Sometimes I tend to do things that are a little bit not so good, and sometimes I do things a little bit good. So I try to keep balance,
Okay.
as all things in life should.
And I believe she said you're a cleric. Is that correct?
Indeed, indeed.
Very good. We have much need for your services, friend. We tend to get dinked and donked a little bit around here.
Yeah. I see that you guys just arrived into town. As you still have all your equipment on you. Where'd you guys come from?
Well, we travel towns looking for work. We just this part of the area we haven't seen much work just yet, but that's when we stumbled across Lisa.
Well, it should be a pretty easy mission from what she's told me, and we'll be on our way, I assume.
So
Yeah.
where are you from?
I am. Hold on. What did Neil just message me? Oh, okay.
Just a minor point. Don't worry
Gotcha.
about it.
Gotcha. So I'm from the mines named after the god Quantarius, far up to the north.
And why did you leave the mines?
Well, that's kind of the interesting, I guess, the interesting side of the story. When I was born, it was basically deemed by the clergymen of Quantarius, the temple there, which is now a great temple. It is the holiest place of the god Quantarius. He's kind of the god of bargaining and balance. So there was an earthquake, a great earthquake that actually killed a lot of people in the town. But as with all things in life, there must be a balance. So in my family's house, there was a gold vein that was opened up. And ever since then, the clergymen have always asked me to train with them and kind of follow in their footsteps because they were so worried. And I was so worried because bad things tend to happen to me that have good side effects. And so I try to keep moving on. And my family was really reluctant about me leaving, but I couldn't bear any more harm to that town or to my family. So I ended up leaving after training with the clergyman.
If you don't mind me saying, you seem to be a little bit weathered and wizened. How old are you exactly?
Well, Neil, you put the wrong age in the character sheet, so I'm just going to
Damn
say
it.
that before you say that. But I respond to Vince and say, I'm 150 years old, sir.
So, Dwarf, as we will be partying together and eventually fighting alongside one another, I would like to know a little bit about your abilities. You say you are a cleric, and we have just come from a few fights, and as such, I have been injured a little bit. I would like to see if you could possibly heal me a little bit, just so I could find out about how powerful you are.
Sure, I'd reach out and touch him and heal him.
Roll a d8, unless you're using a stronger spell.
Let's show it here. You're healed for 3.
How do you feel, Gregor? Do you feel like he's a good cleric?
Tadaga may have been better.
Damn, that sucks. Why do we always get so unlucky, huh?
It felt okay, but
Didn't have
Well,
that same-
friends, this may seem incredible given the story arc and general experience we've had and the unlikelihood of real people engaging this way, but I actually find him very trustworthy, and I want to have him around, or at least until he betrays us and we cut his throat and he rerolls a new character. But I think for
You
now,
say that in game?
I don't say that last part, I guess.
Okay.
But
Okay.
or probably any of the part about story arc and
Sure.
general real people. But I say
Sure.
I trust him. I like this man. I think he can be a part of us.
I guess he can stick around for now.
I agree. I trust him. I just wanna know if I can trust his abilities as well. I trust him as a person.
Tell us a little bit more about your abilities. Don't need to do them all, but just tell us
As
about
Abigail
them.
says that, I yawn loudly, stand up, and say, "I shall see you in the morning, and we'll embark on our journey." Toodaloo.
Say, good day, Vincent. I'm excited
Embark.
for it. And
Good day,
I kind of
Abigail.
look back down and see that the 2 elves are remaining. And I hit Piney on the side, and Piney starts walking out. It's just like, fuck this.
Ah,
I just walk up to my room laughing at the fact that Vincent said embark, and I go upstairs.
whatever. Good night, little man.
I just
Good night, Piney.
I just
And
keep walking
like-
out the bar side by side. Oh, God.
All right, you guys head out. Go to sleep, I take it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, cool. Okay, next morning. Everyone wakes up, everyone meets up together.
Yep.
Good
We
morning,
break our
Piney.
fast, and then she continues to pet his bark, and
Yeah, JP, you do know there's a limited
Oh, I know.
duration on that spell.
It's no longer. So
Yeah,
I don't know who
the-
she's saying that to.
Oh, so I didn't say good morning, Piney. Good.
Yeah, it's not there.
So are we-
Instead, I'm gonna say, where the fuck's Piney?
I just kind of like dwarf or not dwarfs but elves.
we're in Deep Scar, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we would know this, Neil, I guess, but between now and where we want to go, traveling the main road mostly, I'd imagine, what's the next big town that we would want to start looking to sell our things?
Either Fitchview or maybe Witzburg if you take the northern route.
Let's
I
try
think-
Fitchview, I think.
Okay.
That's where we killed what's his name?
Let's not try Fitchview. What's the other one?
Witzburg.
Witzburg?
Yeah, we never
We
been there.
head to Witzburg.
Yeah. So as you guys head off or start heading off, what's her name? What's her
Azrael?
name?
What?
No,
Lisa?
Lisa. Yeah, Lisa kind of rides up next to Brigger and says, "That elf in the back, the one without any weapons. What's her function? Is she a wizard or a cleric or what?"
She's just traveling with us for a couple
yeah.
of days, and then we'll be leaving her company.
She frowns a little bit and says, "Okay, I guess 4 will do. I was hoping to get 5, but
We should be good enough to help you, friend. We'll figure it out.
okay, whatever." By the way, could we take the northern route? I got myself into some trouble last time I was in Solace hunting down some people. I'd really prefer not to head down near Solace at all.
Hunting down some people. Mind explaining?
She kind of looks at you blankly and says, "So my father was killed by bandits a year ago.
Oh, I thought.
And I'm trying to find the bandits. And I was in Solace and killed some.
You'll have to pardon her, friend. Sometimes she says silly things, but she's really good at killing people while they're asleep. We'll head to Witzburg.
She kind of smiles at that, and you guys head off. Anyway, you go 1, 2, 3, 4 days to Witzburg. JP, everyone else is on horseback. Do you hang out in the wagon, or how do you like to travel?
I guess they're still using the wagon, right?
He could actually go in the bag if we wanted, right? Typically.
No, he wouldn't fit in the back.
I asked whoever's driving the wagon if I could ride with them.
Yes, I think we'll have view for you.
Is that, I guess, who's driving the wagon?
That's a good question.
I feel like that's an. God damn it! Who would drive the wagon?
Gregor?
I guess me. No, Bregor would be like ahead of us on a horse or something like that.
I should be ahead with a horse.
So we got Bregor and Abigail on horseback, and Vincent driving the wagon.
I think that makes most sense.
All right.
Should have clarified that, but yeah.
So I immediately say like, yes, let's drive. I'll ride in the wagon next to Vincent.
All right.
Excellent. Okay. Ooh, yeah. The next 4 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 days are pretty boring and just kind of traveling along the road together. And eventually, after those 4 days, you get to Witzburg.
Should we take our break now?
Could take a break. Good break time.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nailed it.
Breaksburg.
We nailed it. We nailed it, guys. All right, we'll be back in 3 minutes. More roleplay coming up as we head into hour 2 right after this. We'll see you guys then.